You're listening to the Plug Podcast, music and more with Bushy and Metal Mike.
All right. You are at the Plug Podcast, music and more with Bushy, Metal Mike, and we have Scapegoat in with us again this week. How you guys doing?
Doing great, man. I feel great. Excited to be doing this, our part 2 of the Remember the Sabbath, Black Sabbath retrospective, the Ozzy years.
I'm glad this is coming to an end. Ugh.
Man, as much as I love Sabbath, it was kind of a chore.
Yeah, I promised myself I wasn't going to cuss, and he just made me cuss.
I know. I'm going to have to bleep that shit.
Oh, what, dude?
Oh, there's a double.
Wait, we'll definitely get there. But yeah, we are finishing our Ozzy era Sabbath retrospective. Last 4 albums here. You, Metal Mike, actually interrupted me Thursday. I was finally listening to these things. And I got to, I guess, Who Are You on the Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath album when you called me. Well, by the time we got off the phone, hey, this old man has to go to bed. So I listened to everything today and was compiling my notes. And, yeah, we'll definitely get there. Definitely get there.
Yeah, I wasn't quite as in-depth with last time I kind of made a little historical or note about every single song, if I could find it. This time I was kind of more relaxed with that, but I still have little tidbits of, factual information here and there.
Nice.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
What happened, Michael?
Just keep talking, dude.
Oh, Mike's looking up stuff.
Oh, Lordy.
But yeah, that's all I got to say there, man. I just didn't get quite as in-depth, but similar to what I did the last time I was here.
Yeah, what I do these things, it's really just a quick blurb.
Yeah.
Whether I like it or not, we could always save it for later if we're doing an actual in-depth review of an album.
Right.
I personally, I don't know about you guys, but man, I'm glad Ozzy went and did his own thing. And
fair enough. Like you said, we'll get there, dude.
But yeah, we'll definitely get there.
Yeah. Because, we'll get there, dude.
Because I can tell you that a couple of these, and I've got one of them. I think it's Technical Ecstasy I have on album, on vinyl back there. I guess I really never listened to these albums. I hadn't heard most of Sabotage. So, that was interesting in its own right, is hearing these albums basically for the first time in their entirety, which is one of the things I like about doing these retrospectives.
Yeah, so don't complain, dude.
Yeah, well, no, I'm going to complain because I didn't find any hidden gems here. I do want to take the time to say, yes, I finally got a hold of some of the stuff from our sponsor. This is one of the hydro drinks. This is a watermelon lemonade.
That sounds good. This
is getting me through work. Let me tell you what, because it is hot. I drink about 12 to 15 bottles of water a day now in an 8-hour period. And I'll do 2 of these, and I never feel drained in any way. The little scoop they give you, it was so small, I was like, well, that's not going to be enough flavor to a 16.9 ounce bottle of water. It's more than enough flavor. 2 is overkill. So if you guys go out and purchase this stuff, definitely, it's an easy scoop, but definitely just use the one. And what I'm drinking now, because this is one of their energy drinks. This is a limited edition flavor. It's got kind of a grapey fruit punch type flavor to it. It's Shadow Monarch Surge. Blue Ras Purple Grape is what they call it. So blue raspberry, purple grape. This is really good. The nice thing about the energy stuff, because I've been trying their sample packets at work. I drink one in the afternoon after lunch because I drink coffee in the morning. And it does. It gets me through the day. I'm not shaking at all. So when it said genderless energy, I can stand behind that. The flavors.
And you said it's sugar free, right? Too.
Yeah, these things. There's no additional anything in these things. There's no maltodextrin in any of those things, and it's just got coffee fruit. So you're not getting the whole bean. You're just getting the fruit from the coffee. I really like them. I haven't come across a flavor I don't like. There was a beach and peach that I wasn't a huge fan of, but I'm not a big peach cobbler guy, and that's what it reminded me of, was a peach cobbler. But I've had no issues with it whatsoever.
I love peach cobbler.
Order, they send you a little.
I don't know about drinking it. Some things translate. I don't know. Have to try it.
They're pretty good. I mean, I like them. So if you're an energy drink guy, and this is what I try to tell people: if you go buy a Monster or a Red Bull, sorry guys, I'm using your names, out of a machine or at the store, they're like what, $4 or $5. These run about $34 for a thing. So you figure in a 16-ounce drink, you get 30 servings. You're looking at $1.50 an energy drink, as opposed to anywhere between $3 and $5.
Yeah, they're expensive.
So you'll save a little bit too. I highly recommend them. I'm glad I could say I highly recommend them. They are good. I'm not an energy drink guy. That's why I'm only doing one in the daytime. But this is actually what I have right now with me next to my soda.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested.
Come pay.
I have to check and see how it might affect my liver.
Well, because when you buy it, don't you you get like a bunch of different flavors, don't you, Bushy? Like when you order
sample pack.
It's like a sample pack, isn't it?
A sample, a sample packet combo they have, as opposed to buying a tub. Actually, the link I had shared on our Facebook page was for their hydro flavors, the different hydro flavors they have, and that's all those were sample packets. Now each packet is good for one beverage. Or you could buy the tubs. The tubs are the better way to go. But if you're trying to see what flavor,
okay, well, yeah,
basically go with the sample package.
Okay, so but yeah. And how much do the tubs cost?
They're about $34 a piece.
Okay.
But if you use promo code The Plug Podcast, all caps, at checkout, you get 10% off.
You hear that, folks?
10% off.
So do it. Get it, buy it. I'm gonna buy some. I'm gonna check it out, man. Because
I'll have to check.
One, I like energy drinks.
What's in it?
I can't really. I got to be careful.
I have to check everything.
Right, and the fact that it's sugar free, that totally appeals.
Oh yeah,
to me.
that's cool. Yeah,
So,
diabetic.
Right on, Bush.
Yeah, it's real good stuff. I definitely recommend it. And like I said, it's not all that added crap in there. So check it out. It's good stuff. Use our promo code. If you order, they kick back a little bit to us. I'm trying to turn my phone off, but I bite my nails horribly because I get so much oil up underneath them at this job. Because Mindy's just going to keep messaging me. She's asking me about the 4th.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I'm going with you, but...
Yeah, I'm going to be on call that weekend. I'm really looking forward.
Well, she's going to Tennessee to her sister's house. They have a whole bunch of fireworks up to shoot off on. But I'm sitting in with Freeform Rock. No, I'm sitting in with the BS sessions that night, the 3rd. And I'm like, look, that show isn't until 9 o'clock. He sent me a whole month's worth of shows. Which one do you want? I was like, well, this one's cool, this one's cool, this one's cool, but I can only do this because I get up at 5 o'clock and I can't be getting on the mic at 9 o'clock at night, dude. I'm old.
No. Yeah. I hear you.
A freeform that lasts about, or a BS session that lasts about 38 hours.
Yeah. 38 hours? Damn.
Oh, it's a long time. I do a 9 o'clock. I'm not off of there until 11 o'clock or so. What I did, Black Spitter, I didn't get off of there till midnight 30. Had to be up the next morning. It was rough.
Yeah, it is rough.
But here we go, the second half of our Remember the Sabbath, Black Sabbath retrospective. We're going to start with 1973 Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Let's just do it in the same order as we did last time, man. I'll go last. Let's hear from you, Scapegoat.
Oh, okay. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Let's see. Basically, with this album, there was a lot of writer's block. They had trouble creatively getting through this album. They relocated to Clearwell Castle in England, where Guitarist Tony Iommi found inspiration for the title track. The album marks a shift in the band's approach with a focus of experimentation and a desire to move beyond their established heavy rock image. And track 1, little note on the song, the line "bog blast all of you" in the lyrics was a direct jab at critics, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, of course, record companies, lawyers, accountants, and anyone perceived as trying to exploit the band. My thoughts is I just love it, and Ozzy kills it, and I absolutely love the verse and chorus and the melody. I especially love the riff, the brutal riff that comes in at 3:18 of the song. It's just badass, yeah. It's just
You know
when
who
it
else
crunch
feels that way
breakdown.
about it?
It's fucking great.
Slash of Guns N' Roses. He loves that part.
Yeah, it's the breakdown. It's just like, oh.
Written.
National acrobat, Geezer Butler, I guess he kind of touches on themes of existence, reincarnation, your nature of belief. I put that I love, as far as critiquing it, I love the multiple progressions and time changes. And I love the sound of Tony Iommi's guitar. The tone is just fucking great. Ozzy sounds amazing and shows elements to me of what Ozzy would come to do vocally in the future solo albums and his career, his solo career. I love it. Fluff, great instrumental. It was apparently named after BBC DJ Alan Fluff Freeman. He supported the band's music, and basically I just thought it was a beautiful instrumental, and I love the piano, very tranquil. Track 4, Sabra Cadabra. I like, let me see here. Says Ozzy's impromptu lines. Ozzy Osbourne reportedly contributed, lines to the song, which were said to be based on dialogue from a German porn he was into at the time.
What's the line? Does it say?
Essentially, boy meets girl jam. I don't know. I guess the lyrics, like he touches on, there's references to this porn.
I do. Okay.
I don't know.
That's funny, man.
I didn't have all that.
That German Scheiße porn.
Yeah.
Scheiße.
I said I love the verses, and Ozzy hits some great upper register notes here. I think Ozzy's vocals really shine on this track. Love the keyboards again. Track 5, Killing Yourself to Live. It was written by Butler while he was in the hospital, apparently dealing with kidney issues brought on by heavy drinking. The personal experience likely fueled the introspective and critical lyrics about self-destructive nature, rock and roll lifestyle, and so forth. An early version of the song apparently can be found on Black Sabbath's live album, Live at Last and Past Lives. I love the song. I mean, again, this is the thing about Sabbath, is I just feel like I'm basically like, what's his name, with Paul McCartney?
Chris Farley.
That's awesome. Yeah, over and over, dude. I love it. Lots of cool experimental breakdowns. I love how Ozzy kind of sung in time with Iommi's isolated guitar solo parts, like in sync with it. It was really cool.
In sync. This is not that show.
Yeah, I know. No, not at all. We're clearly not.
No, Brittany.
Who are you? Track 6 says Iommi was the primary music writer, riff master, and Osbourne played a key role in composing it, apparently using a Moog synthesizer.
Yeah, he even wrote the lyrics. That's kind of Ozzy's.
He had apparently purchased the synthesizer, not knowing how to use it, and through experimentation and inspiration from Genesis, he says that in his memoir, he noted he was experimenting with a tape machine and an ARP 2600, and that's what come of it. All 4 band members are credited, though, for writing it. I put really groovy. Love the synthesizer, of course. It's a standout, different kind of Sabbath tune. Track 7, Looking for Today. Again, written by Butler. Uses the metaphor of a day passing to explore the themes of mortality. Love the message. At my age, I have a better understanding of the song's theme. I thought Ozzy did some really cool stuff again, vocally. The verse melody, which I love, and the lyrics. I especially love the lyric, "When was the last time you cried?" I think that's a great line. Track 8, Spiral Architect. Obviously, it's kind of touches on DNA, genetic coding. I won't go into it much more than that. I got a quote here from Geezer. He says, he was thinking about who selects the sperm who gets through to the egg, I guess when he was contemplating DNA. And the song delves into other issues, how to interpret your surroundings and stuff like that. Basically, I love the song. I've always liked Spiral Architect. I love the orchestration feel to it. Really fun. Ozzy's vocals are absolutely magic to me. I love the way he sings on this fucking song. It's a great song. And a good closer, I thought. That's it.
Nice. You think Metal Mike?
All right, man. This is the point where Sabbath almost becomes progressive metal.
Right, that's what I thought too. Yeah.
I said in the last episode, you got your sister albums. This is definitely where Sabbath are kind of, but recorded November 1973, or released in November 73, recorded in September 73 at Morgan Studios. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. I mean, what a phenomenal opening track. A total masterpiece, one of Ozzy's greatest vocal performance. Sets the tone for the whole album. As you mentioned before, Scapegoat, they have they were struggling. They had writer's block really bad.
Yeah.
When they got to the castle, the first song they wrote was that opening riff, and then after that, everything just flowed. It's really cool. Bill actually plays the bongos on it too, which I think is kind of cool. I didn't know that. It's just a great song. Second track, National Acrobat. Oh, and my father's all-time favorite Black Sabbath song. He loves Sabbath Bloody Sabbath.
Dad likes that song.
National Acrobat, another awesome track. Just really trippy lyrics. Very cool track to get baked to, man. Like, oh, wow. 3, Fluff. What a beautiful instrumental. Just proving once again how versatile this band really was, man. Sabracadabra, just a really cool, upbeat rocker. Love it. Love the lyrical. I love Ozzy's vocals. And, most of the time Sabbath, being doom and gloom, it was kind of cool to hear him do something about falling in love and being upbeat and like a happy song almost, but they pull it off.
Yeah.
Killing Yourself to Live. It's interesting that you said that's what Butler's lyrics were about, because as a kid, I always took it as people are killing themselves to live every day, going on the grind, going to work, trying to make ends meet so you can have shelter and energy and food to survive.
Yeah, he talks about the rock and roll lifestyle.
Right, that too, which, I mean, he could, but, being, I thought maybe that's what...
Fame didn't bring happiness to him and stuff like that.
Right, also the fact that they were blue-collar guys. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but in Birmingham right now, because of the end, they've got a whole exhibit at a museum that's about Ozzy. It's called Working Class Hero.
I didn't know that.
And it's opened right now, man.
That's awesome.
From what I understand, it's amazing. It's not just about Ozzy, it's about Sabbath. But
We'll get to all that stuff at the end of the...
Yeah, so I just thought I'd throw that out there considering I'm talking about blue-collar people. Also, what's really cool both Killing Yourself to Live and Who Are You, Ozzy plays the synthesizer on both tracks. But like on some of them, you also have like right here, it's really weird, like the instrumentation or who played what, man. Like obviously Tony played all guitars, but he plays the piano on tracks 3, 4, and 6, the synthesizer on track 5, Killing Yourself to Live, harpsichord on track 3, which is Fluff, an organ on track 7, a flute on track 7, hand claps on track 7, and bagpipes on track 8, which is Spiral Architect, which I don't hear bagpipes in that song.
I didn't hear that. I didn't pick that up.
And what's really funny is Geezer plays bass, of course. He plays the synthesizer and mellotron on track 6, hand claps track 7, and this is weird, noise on track 8, which again is Spiral Architect. I'm like, okay. Bill plays drums on everything, bongos on track 1, and a tapani on track 6 and 8, and hand claps on track 7. They also had Rick Wakeman playing piano and Mimimoog on track 4. And Will Malone was the conductor and the arranger, and you had the Phantom Fiddlers doing the strings. Pretty neat, man.
I love the strings.
Yeah, so then you got track 6, Who Are You? Again, a song that Ozzy was writing on his synthesizer and messing around. Bill heard it and said, hey, dude, that's really cool. You should present it to the album. Ozzy was kind of reluctant, but Tony and them liked it and said, hey, dude, let's do something with this. So there you go. Very, in my opinion, a great stonerific track. I mean,
yeah, I like it.
Ozzy was the primary writer on this track, but I'm sure he had help with the guys too. Track 7, Looking for Today. Another just upbeat rocker. Everyone contributes to this track musically with the hand claps. Ozzy is playing the organ and flute, or Iommi is, and providing hand claps, Geezer's hand claps, and Ozzy's hand claps, and the tambourine, which I think that's kind of cool. I can just see him, and Bill Ward's doing hand claps as well. Track 8, Spiral Architect, just lyrically about conception, about the DNA spiral, if you will, an epic fucking track.
Yeah, I know. Great closer.
Apparently, Tony plays bagpipes on this, and Geezer provides noise. I love the acoustical intro that the track builds into. That's just that awesome riff. The symphonic accompaniment is totally atmospheric, and apparently Ozzy actually directed the orchestra on what to play, like some mad conductor. He had no actual music on him, so he had to sing and hump to them what he wanted them to play. They did it. I'm sorry, I think this album rules. It's them going in a different direction. This is experimental. This is experimenting done right. Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose. Okay.
Yeah, it's progressive. It's like
exclamation point. This album
very
rules.
Progressive.
I love this record.
Jazz influences and stuff.
Now let's hear Bush. You just be like, I don't like prog. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I don't like prog. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, sweet riffage, great tune. I've always liked it. I love the acoustic parts. That ending just smokes.
Mm-hmm.
National Acrobat, I dig it. It's got some real cool changes going on in there. Fluff was weird. It's just this beautiful, peaceful instrumental ballad that really kind of makes you think you're listening to Led Zeppelin a little bit. I love it.
Yeah.
Sabracadabra, man, it's riff-tastic. It's got great changes. Ozzy sounds great. I love the piano. Cool too. Killing Yourself to Live, another winner. The band is just smoking. Great solos, good song. Who Are You? I can do without that one. And that's all I wrote. I could do without this one. Looking for Today, it's got this weird hippie vibe. I don't necessarily hate it, but I would skip it. Spiral Architect's got that cool, acoustic intro you're talking about. Into that great riff. I really dig the strings on it. And I agree wholeheartedly. It was a great closing track to that album. So for me, there's only 2 that I could do without on this.
Oh, yeah. Well, good.
And I agree with you that if I had to pick the ones that weren't going to be like in my regular playlist or whatever,
I agree. Those are the
2s I'd probably skip or not.
Yeah, I agree with you. Those are the weakest songs on the album. I'll go that far. Yeah,
I agree with that.
I still like them though.
They're still listenable. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
if I throw the album on, I'm not gonna get up off the couch to go.
Exactly.
Skip those songs. I'll let the album play.
If it's a CD, I'm getting off the couch. If it's an album, I'll go ahead and suffer through it because I'm not going to lift the needle.
There you go. Well, yeah.
Through it.
Suffer through?
Suffer like I suffered?
Your definition of suffering and mine is like totally 2 different things.
Stop it. Anyway,
they're not that bad, Bush.
Let's talk about 75 Sabotage.
All right. You want me to take off again?
Sure.
You're our guest.
Okay. I don't remember. Oh. Sabotage I didn't really do much on the history of the album, I don't think here. I just kind of focused more on the songs. As far as the lyrics are inspired by Patrick Mahan's management.
And the record company.
And most surmise that it's about interstellar space travel. I personally think it's the sister song or counterpart of Volume 4's Under the Sun. It's heavy as hell. And I love Hole in the Sky. Track 2, Don't Start Too Late. It's named after the band's recording engineer, David Harris, who would often shout this phrase when the band would begin playing before he was ready to record. The song is essentially a short, unscripted warm-up exercise for Iommi, according to the Sabbath clan. I think it's a nice instrumental. I mean, I dig it. It's not like, it's not very long, so.
Yeah, it's like 40 seconds or so.
Yeah, it's filler.
Really an intro to the next.
Yeah, and I get that it's a warm-up. Symptom of the Universe. Ooh. Well, this is a whole new animal. All right. Obviously, themes of existence, love, human experience. I love everything about it. Many from my generation, as well as myself, consider it probably the very first thrash metal prototype song. It starts out acoustically, somewhat throwing the first-time listener off track of what's in store, which is absolutely awesome. It suddenly turns into a ripper, classic Sabbath, now, but a game-changing song when released. Megalomania. Themes of paranoia, grandeur, perhaps a commentary on the darker aspects of human nature. Many fans consider Ozzy's vocal performance on this album and this song to be one of his best, showcasing his range and intensity. I love this song, especially the earlier portion of it, more so than the latter. But I just basically summed up that it's a great tune. Ozzy's voice is stellar, which, it is. The thrill of it all. Questioning beliefs, finding freedom through music. I think the song gets overlooked, and I think it gets underrated. I love the synthesizer. It's really prevalent, adds a little experimental and progressive vibe. Superstar. I really dig. I love instrumentals. I'm an instrumental guy in general. I don't have to have somebody barking over the top or singing over every piece of music ever. So I enjoy it. It'd be really cool for someone to use it in a film or an animated movie, I thought. Insane. I never got Insane, even when I was a kid. It's a strange to me, Mike. We were talking about this earlier. It's a weird song. Ozzy apparently didn't like it. It's fun now because of nostalgia, but not really one of my main favorites, Sabbath songs. The Writ, however, is probably one of my major. I go to this song on a regular basis. Just I have to hear it every so often. It focuses a lot on the mismanaging by Patrick Meehan. It's one of my personal favorites. I think it's one of Ozzy's best vocal performances. It demonstrates why Sabbath fans regard this album as Ozzy's greatest vocal performance. And I think it's a masterpiece and one of the greatest Sabbath closers to any of their albums ever, I think. That's it, man. That's all I got. You ain't getting no more.
All right, man. Dude, yeah, Sabotage, a very angry album, because right around the time they were making Sabbath Belief Sabbath is when they found out that they were getting royally screwed. Not just Meehan, but the record company. It was bad. And this was the point in the band's existence where they kind of tried to do what the Beatles did. They tried to manage themselves, which did not work out too well. If Sabbath would have, and Ozzy said this in his book, if they'd have stuck with Jim Simpson, their original manager, who tried to do right by the boys, and they were impatient. They wanted to get the bigger gigs. They wanted to get and Meehan did do that for them, but Ozzy has acknowledged, like, we kind of had our Brian Epstein, and we should have stuck with him, because Simpson kept telling him, "Be patient, boys. It's all going to come. It's going to come." And he's trying to hear how much game, and they fired him, and then they got Meehan. Meehan screws him over like really, really bad. So when they do this album, the reason why the album's even called Sabotage is because they felt like the name of the album reflects the turmoil the band was going through with their legal battles with Patrick Meehan. So when they fired him, of course, he sues them. So it's really amazing to me that they were able to write and record anything at all, let alone this record.
Right.
You open it up with Hole in the Sky. Oh my God, a total banger from beginning to end. You can just already feel the anger on this album. And that's the one thing where I love Ozzy, but sometimes he's complained like, well, you know, I'm not angry anymore. Dude, you can always find something to make you mad. I mean, I've heard, I don't know how many times Ozzy go off on a rant and go, this pisses me off and that well, dude, if it pisses you off, write about it, man.
Right.
You know, because with metal, you got to have a bit of anger in you. So just find something that bothers you, man. Even if it's some jerk on the highway, who cares, you know? That's just my advice. But Hole in the Sky is great. Pantera does a phenomenal cover of this.
They did a great cover.
Don't Start Too Late, really cool instrumental to me, but really it's just an opener for the next Riffacopia track. Oh my God, Symptom of the Universe. This is proto-thrash, folks. This track is to thrash metal what the Beatles' Helter Skelter is to metal. That's right, I said it.
Yep.
Tied with one other track is my favorite track on the album, and honestly one of my all-time favorite tracks of theirs, period. I especially love the acoustical outro where they go all mellow after bludgeoning the listener through most of the song. It's almost like two songs in one or two tracks in one. Total perfection. Megalomania, another freaking just amazing epic masterpiece. I absolutely love this track. This is prog metal done right, ladies and gentlemen. This track is 9 minutes long and 42 seconds, and amazingly, I never get bored. Now, I do like some prog rock and metal. I'm not like, oh, I hate prog, you know, but it all depends on the artists and the bands. I can't say I love all prog rock and all prog metal because some of it does bore me. And again, I don't want to sound like, because I love Iron Maiden, but Maiden, man, they went proggy, but they've just, I mean, I'm sorry, to me, they are the AC/DC of new wave of British heavy metal bands. Everything sounds exactly the same to me. It's just the same typical 12-minute, 8-minute, 9-minute Iron Maiden songs. And I don't mind the longer tracks. It's like Maiden kind of made their reputation on that with songs like Hallowed Be Thy Name and Rime of the Ancient Mariner, but they didn't do a whole album of them. And anymore, that's all you get. So again, I know you Maiden guys, I love Maiden. I'm not shitting all over them. If you love those albums, hey, more power to you. But I long for the days when Maiden would kick my ass in 4.5 minutes. Okay. I'm just saying. But I never get bored on this, man. Like, it still it keeps my attention. I agree with you, Scapegoat. I think Ozzy's vocals are amazing, and I just love all the different like echo effects. But like it's an echo but backwards. It's like, you know, it's just so cool, man. Thrilled at all. Just another riff-tastic rocker. This album doesn't let up as far as I'm concerned. Track 6, Superstar. It's a cool instrumental. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. It kind of slows the momentum of the album for me a little bit, you know. I can see why Ozzy feels like, because Ozzy has his feelings about this record. He feels that if you take this song off and you remove, he's not saying they're bad songs, but he doesn't really like. He wasn't real big on this one, and he wasn't real big on the next song, Am I Going Insane Radio, which apparently was English slang for. Because a lot of people assumed that when he said radio, he meant, like, oh, this is a radio song. What the hell is going on?
Metal Mike, slow it down the tempo.
Yeah, something's going on with my mouse, man. It's acting pissing me off. Anyway, real radio or something, it means radio rental. That was the term that English people used, which meant, oh, they've went nuts, or they've gone off the farm. So, yeah, apparently that's what it means. But as a kid, though, I thought radio, like, what, is this like the radio version of this song? Because the first time I ever heard this song was on the compilation, We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll. And to be quite frank, I feel that that's like why that song made that compilation from this album. I'll never know, because every other song on here is 100.
There's about a billion other saddest songs that you would.
Yeah, on this album. I mean, if you got to grab a song off this album, any one of them would have been better than that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just never been a huge fan of this track. Ozzy has the same opinion. It sticks out like a sore thumb. The Ozman has stated that this and Superstars were distractions in what would otherwise be a perfect album. He was also getting frustrated at this point in time with how long the recording process and the periods were for recording albums during this time period. And then we have the Writ, and just an absolute, and you know what, this is a term I use for other metal bands when I think that they're, you know, like awesome and amazing. And
Awesome.
and that is that Saptastic is just Saptastic masterpiece, man. From beginning to end, Ozzy is just spitting venom on this song towards Patrick Meehan and the Vertigo label for ripping them off. Ozzy wrote the lyrics himself. He states it was very therapeutic for him to do so, that he kind of felt like, you know, he goes, we're getting writs all, and we're just getting constantly interrupted, and we can't even, you know, and you can just tell this is a very, very angry album. I love it. I think it's a masterpiece, man.
Ozzy said, or one of them said, that they just felt like they were going through the creative process to make the music,
just to
make the money, to pay the lawyers.
Yeah, and that is frustrating, man.
Fair enough. I liked some of this. I didn't like other parts. Hole in the Sky, you're right. It's an absolute banger. It's a killer opening track. That Don't Start Too Late, it's stupid. It shouldn't have its own. It shouldn't have its own title. It should just be the opening for Symptom of the Universe.
I agree.
I agree with that.
You know, Symptom of the Universe. This is my favorite track on the record.
Right.
It is just badass. There's no other way to put it. Megalomania. All I can say about that song is epic. Everything works right in this, and it's very sludgy. Very sludgy. Those numbers. Thrill of It All. Iommi Award absolutely rule on this track. Geezer just kind of holding it down. You know, he's in the pocket doing his thing, but it's an absolute great track.
It is.
Super czar is how I read it. Star, however you want to word it. Man, this is weird. It's disjointed. It's all over the place. I don't like it. Drugs are bad, children. Don't be taking drugs and then try to record an instrumental. You end up with this schlock. Am I going insane? Now this, oddly enough, I dug the hell out of this. This is really...
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Awesome. Dude, that bass line played is great. It's so... And I like it. I think it's a great song.
Well, I mean, it's fun, especially now, like nostalgia, like older. I'm like, I get a kick out of it. You know, it's not...
It's good stuff. The Writ, I think, is weird. It's weird because it's got such a Zeppelin, Alice Cooper group feel.
Yeah. Weird good or weird bad?
Weird in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like, if I want to hear Dead Babies, I should just go listen to Dead Babies, you know? But I don't hate it. It's a great song. It's just, when you listen to those first 4 Sabbath albums, it just struck me as weird. Neither good nor bad.
It is different. But I love it, man. Yeah. I love the punch, especially the mellow intro.
Yeah.
And with Ozzy, and it punches through. It's like getting hit in the jaw, man. It's like...
I see.
I'm catching Alice Cooper vibes from it.
I did too. Especially with the Mellotron part where Ozzy's like, I know. I definitely hear a bit of Alice Cooper.
I never thought of that. I didn't pick up on that.
And, you know, it is natural sometimes for bands to be kind of influenced by their contemporaries, and Alice Cooper was pretty much a contemporary at that time. And I also think that, I could understand why, because there's a statement, even when I was a kid, you know, there's only certain things you can trust in life, and one of them's the first 5 Black Sabbath albums. I think over time, though, this album, it did well, but I don't think people put it on the level of... the first 5 albums. I think it is. I think overall it is. I do agree with Ozzy. I think you take those 2 tracks off. It's just like, they're just weird songs. It's not even that I'm going insane is a bad song. It's just weird. And it doesn't sound like Black Sabbath to me at all. It almost sounds more like I mean, it's funny to hear Ozzy say he didn't like it, because I always wondered if maybe it was a solo song that Ozzy had written, because it's just so weird, and so different.
It is different.
That is not the case, though.
I kind of also look at it because I think at this time frame, Iommi was looking for things that would get on the charts.
Sure.
A hit, like a single.
Mm-hmm. Well, they did release that song.
Yeah. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense in that aspect of how it ended up there.
I just mentioned the bass because, you could almost attribute that to listening to Queen, maybe, because it had that feel about it as well.
Yeah, I agree with that analogy.
That's it. I really dig that track.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just love the riff. Like, I know it's long and but I just think it's epic, and I just think that Ozzy.
What, Rit?
The Rit.
Oh,
it's one of my all-time favorite Sabbath songs.
But
I could understand where some of the OG Sabbath fans at the time might have been like, "Whoa," you know what I mean? Like, because even with Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, which was a very critically acclaimed album for them, Sabbath they did go in a proggy direction with these two records. I definitely
with the later
can hear it.
When we get into this to the end days here, the final years, I mean, you can kind of hear like Ozzy starts vocally doing things that you can recognize in his solo career, and I mean, there's things that are going on with Iommi instrumentally and the sound of his guitar,
right?
The way he's playing that reminds you of when Dio entered. There's times where I noticed on some of the guitar solos on this album, Iommi, I was like, wow, this sounds like kind of how he approached his solos when he was with Dio, as far as the just cutting through, like, really.
Dude, I agree. It's almost like you could tell they were kind of going in different directions, both Ozzy and Tony.
And it just gets worse with it as it goes on.
And I think with Ozzy, well, he talks about it. He was getting really frustrated with these next two albums, because he says there's certain songs that don't even fucking sound like Black Sabbath to me, quote unquote. Like, he was getting really like, what are we doing? And and according to some people, we need to sound like Foreigner, we need to sound like Queen. And Ozzy shot back, when are we trying to sound like people we kind of influenced that we came before? It doesn't make any sense.
Kiss did that, though.
Yeah, well, a lot of bands did. And like Ozzy said, we might have borrowed from Alice Cooper with the Rit, but Cooper had been around as long as us. He was a contemporary. Ozzy, he liked Queen, and he liked, Foreigner and those bands, but he felt like, well, we were before them, so why are we borrowing what they do?
I kind of agree with that.
I don't know. Anyway,
let's talk about Technical Ecstasy.
All right.
I can see the look on Bushy's face, man. This
is a weird album, and I did not hear this. I did not discover this album until, let me try to put a time frame on this. This album got past me.
90s.
I was in
the 90s when we heard it.
I was in my early 20s.
I was like, oh, cool, a Sabbath album I've not heard with the original lineup. But
probably, if I had to guess, like 21, 22. And Kevin Barnes pulled it out one day out of his record collection and showed me the cover. And I said, what's that?
Yeah, see, the next two album covers don't even look like Black Sabbath album covers.
Another complaint Ozzy had.
Yeah, strange, huh? Especially Ecstasy.
The two weird robots, the building, and the weird robot up an escalator. Whatever. Can
I say something right off the bat?
Very.
My least favorite Ozzy album right here.
What's the word you would call art style?
Art Deco.
Yeah,
there you go. Kind of Art Deco-y, I guess. Yeah.
I know some stuff. Not much.
Good for you, buddy.
I know some stuff.
We'll give you your silver star after the show. Good God.
Let's talk about this flaming pile of crap.
Oh, wow.
Dang. Well, hey, if you're going to dish it out, bro, you got to take it.
Well, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care, man. I mean, I just said this is my least favorite Sabbath album.
Yeah.
It is.
I agree. Okay, guys. I didn't go. I think I touched a few facts here and there, but I didn't get quite as involved. Backstreet Kids, clearly it's self-explanatory what it's about. It's about growing up on the street, surviving the streets.
Birmingham.
Yeah. I think it's pretty upbeat song. It's not bad. It's okay. I dig it. It's got some pretty cool riffs in it. It's actually one of my one of my favorite songs off this album. You Won't Change Me, again, pretty self-explanatory. I kind of find it to be probably influenced with Ozzy going through his marriage difficulties with Thelma and stuff. I actually really like You Won't Change Me. I kind of find it in the same kind of flavor, or it's like a counterpart to Changes. It's all right. Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's okay. It's filler to me, kinda. Bill sings, and I like Bill. I love Bill, but it's okay. You know. Gypsy, I dig. Elements. I mean, not the song from beginning to end, but apparently some people think it was inspired by a bad relationship Butler had experienced. That was a little note of history. I think it's a pretty decent song overall. I like the lyrics and Ozzy's voice at times. It kind of, because he hits that upper register, as it always does, it gives me the hair on the back of my neck goes up. All moving parts stand still. I dig it. It's okay. I mean, it's not mind blowing like some of the earlier stuff. This album was a weird album. It was weird the first time I heard it. It's still a weird album for me. I find it to be kind of a filler song. Rock and Roll Doctor, track 6. It's obviously about, drugs and, the lifestyle, rock and roll lifestyle. It's okay. There's elements of it. I give it like a C+. She's Gone. That is a great ballad. I mean, I think as far as, having to press hard like to pick one song off the entire album that I really, really feel could have went on any of the previous albums. This song could have fit, very well. I love it, and I again think it was kind of written for Thelma or inspired. I think it's one of the greatest ballads they've ever done, and that Ozzy was a part of during Sabbath. Dirty Women, pretty evident. Ladies of the Night, blah blah blah. It's okay. Iommi did some really nice guitar work on it, and I like some of the keyboards in it. That work. I just find it to be a weird closer, and I give it like a C+ to a B kind of rating, and that's about it for me, man.
What do you think of Technical Ecstasy, Mike?
All right, man. Released October 22nd, 1976. Recorded in June of 76. Criteria Studios, Miami. The Eagles apparently were recording Hotel California right next door.
Yeah, I think I read that.
Made in that studio. Cool.
Yeah. First song, Backstreet Kids. I do like this track. I've always liked this track. It's one of the better tracks on the album. It kind of, what's weird about this record, like I said, I could hear like elements of where I'm like, well, that kind of reminds me of early solo Ozzy, but this kind of also songs remind me.
This album is really good.
But I do like it. You Won't Change Me. This is kind of a strange one. I mean, I dig it, but you can kind of tell, in my opinion, that they were kind of just clutching and grasping for a direction. I don't think they really knew where they were going. I think they were messed up on drugs.
Yeah.
They're trying to manage themselves. They're dealing with all that.
A lot of chaos.
There's a lot of chaos going on, and it shows. It's all right. All right. I don't hate this song, even though I made the joke. It's not. I actually do like the song, but it's the only song that's completely written by Billboard. This should have been on a Billboard solo album. This is not Black Sabbath. So yeah, I could live without it, I guess. If it was on a Bill Ward solo album, I'd be a lot better with it. You know what I mean? Because I'd be like, okay, it's Bill doing his thing. This is not a Black Sabbath song, in my opinion.
Yeah, not just not just vocal style wise. It's just even the way it's arranged. Like,
yeah, it's just weird. It's just different, man. And originally they wanted Ozzy to sing it, but Ozzy was like, no, Bill, it's your song. You sing it, man. And he didn't mean that as like, oh, I ain't sing. It was just like, bro, you wrote it. You do it, man. Gypsy. Now, I've always liked this track. Just from the cool, like really drum intro that Bill does.
I mean,
and the bass playing, you know, the rhythm section.
One of the best.
Then it goes into the guitar. I do dig this song. It kind of reminds me of some solo Ozzy too. In certain
vocally,
parts, man. Like, she didn't like my thoughts at all. It's over. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. All moving parts stand still. A very strange track. It's almost got like funky riffs in it, I think. I'm not sure what they were doing, and I'm pretty sure the original OG Sabbath fans were probably at the time going, what the WTF? All right, like, you're like, what's going on here? Rock and Roll Doctor, again, not a bad song, but this is a rock and roll song. It's not Black Sabbath to me. It's them trying to be something they're not. I don't think it's done badly, but yeah. She's Gone. I like this song. I think it's a beautiful ballad. I always have. It's basically about being lied, used, and abused and deceived by a woman who you love who totally ghosts you. So I can relate to that. Let's see. Dirty Women. To me, hands down, my favorite track on the album right here. This is one of the things I've always loved about Sabbath and all the artists that are in the Sabbath family tree is that they always do these absolutely awesomely majestic, epic closing tracks. And this track is no exception. As the listener, I always thought it was kind of cool that the previous track was about the devastation and heartache of being blindsided and ghosted by the woman you love. Then the next track is him, probably the same dude, going out to ease that pain by trying to find a lady of the night. Fulfill the need of human contact while also satisfying his carnal desires. Because the male body needs sex at all times, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a living hell. I especially love the lyrics on the track. The one part, out on the streets, I watch tomorrow becoming today. I love that.
Oh, there are
shaking your head, Mr. Chinese democracy. Like, I give zero whatever, all right? Yeah, go ahead. I know you're going to bash it. And that's fine, man. Like, look, I just told you, it's my least favorite album. It's not that great an album, but I like that song. It's better than anything off that shistastic fucking album you had me.
There's like about 3 cuts on here that.
Sorry, man, but it is.
When I first heard it, it was New Sabbath.
Because Guns N' Roses can't even hold Black Sabbath's jockstrap. The worst Sabbath is better than Guns N' Roses. Thank you. Go ahead.
What?
Oh, it's not.
Yes, it is. Go ahead.
What?
Technical ecstasy. Jesus. Backstreet Kids should have been Backdoor Kids. It's weird, disjointed. I am not a fan. You Won't Change Me. At least this sounds like a Sabbath tune. It's okay. It's got a cool solo. It's all right. If I want to listen to the Beatles, I'll put on the freaking Beatles. It's
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah,
it's not horrible, but come on. Gypsy. Now, Gypsy, I actually dig the first half of this song.
Yeah.
Because it has a strong Kiss feel to it. The drumming and the guitar playing sounds like Peter and Ace to me. Overall, it's just garbage, though. I don't know where it goes. It's no good. All Moving Parts Stand Still is just god-awful. I can't stand it. The Rock and Roll Doctor, I'd find another doctor. Trying to make a mainstream sound was a horrible idea.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's gone. I love most ballads. This is not one of them. Next. Dirty Women. All I wrote for that was, oh, I'm so happy this is over. This is horrible. I was like, good God.
Yeah, I love She's Gone. I'm a little surprised you didn't gravitate more to that.
Yeah, because he likes all those pussy 80s ballads.
Yeah, they did it much better.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Anyway, keep going.
No, that's it. God.
And I get it, Bushy. I'm not saying you're totally wrong. I mean, it is.
No, I mean, there's probably a lot of people out there
fell off a cliff here.
So you guys think technical ecstasy is bad? At least I found a couple things that I liked on it.
Yeah.
This next one we're going to talk about.
No, there's some songs on this album.
Well,
I like
yeah,
and
this
then
is
some
where they implode.
Don't
so.
get it. I think I like this album better, but
I
by
agree.
much,
This
dude.
album was
Go ahead.
kind of this album. The last album, Never Say Die, is a little hard for me, man. Like I love the title track,
Yeah,
but after that,
off.
it gets weird. Like
Yeah.
it's just really experimental.
Well, I mean, let's go ahead and get started, man.
Let's dive into it. I'm going to zip through this one fast.
It's the 8th studio album, released on September 29th of 78. It's the last studio album with the original lineup, and the last album to feature vocalist Ozzy until 2013, the album 13. It received mixed reviews, no surprise, with critics calling it unbalanced and insisting its energy was scattered in way too many directions. And basically, I wrote the wheels were coming off. Never Say Die. Love the title song. I go to this on the reg. Like, I'll just go straight to that song, pull it up, play it. I love the title track. If the rest of the album had been in the same flavor, it would have been a much, I think, more solid album. So basically, I'm not going to stammer on. I love it. It's a go-to cut for me. Butler even said years later that while how do you put it? Despite the defiant title of the song and album, the album suffered because of the chaos at the time. Anyway, Johnny Blade, pretty self-explanatory lyrically. I dug the keyboards. Now, you got to understand, I'm looking for things to be, critical of. And I had...
Looking?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm listening to this because there was a lot of songs on this album as a kid that I just skipped over. Like, me sitting down and actually listening to all these songs from beginning to end, I did hear some things that I appreciate, I think, more now at my age than I did as a kid, But with that all being said, still, strange album. Junior's Eyes, of course, was inspired by Ozzy's father passing away. I mean, I don't know if you know, Ozzy left on a hiatus when his dad died. Mm-hmm. And that, they brought in another guy, Dave Walker? And I guess
Savoy Brown, yeah,
something like that. And it went on.
Dude, I've heard that version.
Apparently,
before.
They had started work on this song with him. Ozzy insisted they change the lyrics, and that's what happened. Is it ended up being kind of based off his father's passing. I enjoy it more now than when I was young. I'll give it, it's okay. A Hard Road. It was the second single off the album, hitting top 40, believe it or not, as well as a video performance. I enjoyed the verse groove, chorus. It was okay in parts. Not particularly a go-to song for me at all when it comes to Sabbath. Shockwave, I enjoyed the acoustic guitar mixed into the different sections of the song. I like Ozzy's use of melody. I mean, there's things within it that I can see potential, but the thing that's upsetting with this throughout this whole album is it's kind of like a hit and a miss and hit and a miss. It's like, yeah, it is. There's parts where I'll be like, wow, really cool verse, really cool, but then they'll go a direction and then it goes like, I know. Air Dance, I again enjoyed the piano, Ozzy's vocals with it. It was pretty cool. It's okay. Over to You. I kind of dug the rolling drum intro. It was okay. I mean, I enjoy it. It's not a bad song. It's not a headbanger by no means, but it's okay. Breakout. I appreciate it more now. It was strange. Breakout's strange, man. It's got a lot of jazz fusion, jazz influence in it. It's no wonder that old school, like Mike says, OG Sabbath listeners didn't get it at all. And then Swinging the Chain, I didn't get it. I don't really get it. It's okay. There's some things in it because I was looking for things, But to be honest, a lot of this album for me, even at this juncture of my life, it's skippable. It's not going to be on my Sabbath playlist. You know, the main song off this album that I go to on a reg is the title track, and that's about it.
All right, Metal Mike.
Okay, track one, Never Say Die. I've always liked the title track. I've always been a fan of it, even like with Ozzy when he did it on Speak of the Devil. Johnny Blade, I think, is just totally bizarre to me. I don't like the intro. It's very boring.
Weird song.
I absolutely hate the chorus. The riffs are kind of cool here and there, but this track is just very abstract and incohesive to me.
Right.
Which unfortunately is kind of a metaphor for the entire album. Junior's Eyes. I do like this track. I like the bass and drum intro, and then it builds in the guitar. And it's not that bad. It's not great, but it's not horrible. You know, the track is about Ozzy losing his father. And really, the band, it just kind of shows how the band was just in total turmoil at this time. I mean, it showed.
Yeah, they were imploding.
A Hard Road. Again, a really strange song. It's about a track about how life can just throw a bag over your face, sucker punch the hell out of you, and then give you a swift kick in the balls. One interesting thing about the track is in the background, or in the backing vocals, is actually Tony Iommi singing. Very often, he said that's the first and only time he ever did that, and part of it was because I guess Geezer couldn't stop from laughing, man. So, you know, it's okay. Shockwave. Now, I do like this song. I've always liked this song. Even lyrically, it reminds me of Sabbath, you know. Yeah. You know, like, you know, you can't escape the fact that you're gonna die. Like, it's like, okay, cool. This is more Sabbath-like to me than anything else on this album besides Never Say Die.
I mean, it's not like I hate it.
Everybody's got their opinion, you know. What's weird about that song, though, I do kind of hear, again, some elements of like what was to come for both Sabbath with Dio and Ozzy solo. Air Dance. Okay, now it's definitely different for Black Sabbath. It's almost jazzy. Again, it's one of those things where, okay, the musicianship and the instrumentation is good and it's totally on point, but I mean, it's just not Black Sabbath to me, man. I mean, this sounds like something that, I mean, I can understand why, again, I'm repeating myself, how the OG Sabbath fans are like, what in the absolute holy hell is this? Like, you know, they probably, I mean, Ozzy even, he remembers walking in and he was like, what is this, man? He didn't get it. Ozzy is not a fan of this album. He's been on record saying it more than once. Over to You. Again, another weird song. It's one of them songs I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. The last two songs, man, I think are horrible. I don't really care for the horns. I don't mind horns, but not in my metal. It's very distracting and jarring to me. And I don't like Swinging the Chain, man. I think it's not even Black Sabbath. More like Going Off the Rails is what this song should have been called. So that's my,
that happened on the other album.
I maybe like it maybe by a cubic hair more than, I don't know, man. Maybe this is my least Sabbath album now that I think about it.
I know, right?
I mean, it's really, and they are very, again, I've said it, these two are sister albums. There's moments, but it just doesn't connect.
This is a hard album for me to get through and stay excited.
It was, man. Like, I actually brushed up today, and I actually had the albums on Sam, and I'm like listening to part of it, and then I went right through it because it doesn't grab me. So here you go, Bushy. Now it's your turn.
He's going to kill us with the slaughtering.
Yeah, he's going to say, here's a piece of shit, and there ain't one good song on this album.
Never Say Die. Yeah. I always dug that song. It's good.
I know it. It's a great cut.
Yeah. Johnny Blade, I wrote Yuck.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Junior's Eyes, I wrote I Feel Bad. It's about Ozzy's father because it's just another forgettable track.
Yeah.
Hard Road, well, at least the solo was good. Look, I found one good thing on this album.
Yeah, there is some cool.
Not good. Air Dance, hard to even get through. Over to You, horrible. Breakout, instrumental, good Lord, can't skip fast enough. Swinging the Chain, hate it. If I was a Sabbath fan listening to this, because I'm admittedly a casual fan, If I was a Sabbath fan when this thing came out, I don't know that I would have even gone over and listened to Ozzy Osbourne. I don't know that I would have gone and listened to Sabbath with Ronnie James Dio. This tripe, this Never Say Die, this is Risk. This is horrible. This should have never seen the light of day. The absolute garbage. I would much rather take a crap and not have toilet paper and have itchy butt and Bernie butt than ever have to hear this album in its entirety ever again. It was awful.
Damn, Bush.
Awful.
Hi, man. Okay. Bushy just...
Yeah, I can't defend it.
No, I can't. And, you know...
as much as I love them. You know.
And look...
But, yeah.
I think what happened, though, is you got to understand something. Believe it or not, Bushy, Heaven and Hell and Diary of a Madman were slow burners. They didn't become these multi-platinum albums right away.
Oh, no.
Sabbath and Ozzy had to earn that.
It took a little while.
Part of it was word of mouth, man.
Yeah, except that Diary of a Madman did better because we already had Blizzard of Oz. Catch up there, buddy.
Yeah, true.
What are you talking about?
What? What are you talking about?
Okay.
Heaven and
What are you
Hell,
talking about?
Madman, they were slow burning, but Blizzard of Oz was already out. Blizzard was a slow burn.
Yeah, Diary. I mean, people...
Well, I said Diary, I meant Blizzard. No, Blizzard and Heaven and Hell came out in the same year, dude.
I know, but you said Diary. I was
Did
correct.
I say Diary? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
don't know.
I meant
I think you
Blizzard
did.
of Oz. Those albums were slow as far as like, you know, I mean, hell, dude, people at this point in time considered Sabbath done. They were done. And then when they did get Dio and they got, hey, have you heard it? They got the Rainbow Guy. That was what Kevin Barnes and some of his buddies were talking about in our driveway when I was a kid, man. Like, and everybody thought Ozzy was done. Like, he was done, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and then when Blizzard of Oz came out, everybody was like,
Did.
oh,
Like Paul
shit,
Jenkins
you know.
did.
It was the best thing that happened to happen for everybody. And even for Ronnie, because Ronnie gets kind of kicked out of Rainbow. He don't know what he's going to do. Sharon Arden introduces him to Tony. We got four amazing albums that we would not have gotten because I think Sabbath would have probably imploded and just broke up if they had kept going the way they were going. It was not good. It was not good.
Oh.
And I love Sabbath, and they're my all-time favorite band as far as metal bands goes. But I you know, again, yeah, that was something that needed to happen.
Yeah,
now,
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, and because Dio gave Iommi and Butler and Ward a shot in the arm. Randy and Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake gave Ozzy a shot in the arm. I think Ozzy was very dissatisfied with the way things were going. It's well documented.
Bob wrote all that.
Yeah, whatever. You know, I think that it was something that needed to happen, and thank the metal gods that it did, because I don't think, and also I'm a fan of all those guys, and even artists in the Sabbath family tree. Like I love Dio's especially his first 3 or 4 records. I loved Born Again with Ian Gillan. I've enjoyed every one of those guys' solo efforts. The one that's kind of a little weird to me, man, if you ever listen to his solo stuff, is Bill Ward. His stuff can be really bizarre, man. It's like, whoa, dude.
Yeah,
you did do a lot of drugs, didn't you, Bill? You know what I mean? But I still love him, man. I mean, it's Bill Ward. He's one of the greatest metal drummers of all time. And yeah, Bushy, I'm with you, man. It's like you go from, because to me, I think the first 6 Sabbath albums are solid. I do think Sabotage, I put it up there with the classic albums. Okay, so it's got 2 tracks that we're kind of not sure about, but for the most part, man, those are solid records.
Yeah, I like Sabotage.
They're all great. I think
didn't struggle to get through Sabotage. I mean, you know, there's a couple filler songs, you know.
Yeah, I love Sabotage,
but after that, it got as farther we got, man.
Yeah,
I was like, oh.
Well, you know, Ozzy even said it himself. He felt that way about his solo career in an interview. And this was like when No Rest for the Wicked was coming out. That he goes, you know, it worries me because I remember with Sabbath, our first 5, maybe 6 albums went great, and then all of a sudden we fell off a cliff, and it just kind of dwindled. He goes, I'm worried that that's going to happen with my solo career. He actually said that, man. Of course, then he went on to do No More Tears, which was an even bigger hit, one of his biggest hits. I mean, that album sold, I don't know, a gazillion copies. So you just don't know. But Ozzy was worried that, am I going to be, because he was really like, am I going to go down the path that I did with Black
Sabbath? Play out
Sabbath?
for me the same as it did with Sabbath.
Right. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the greatness of Sabbath far outweighs anything. And no artist, I've said this a billion times, I don't care who you are, there's very few where I can say I've liked every song, every album, everything they've ever done, man. Do you realize, especially bands or artists that have been around for as long as these guys have, how hard and difficult that is?
I don't think there's any one band that I like everything.
No. I can't think of anybody that,
but
there's a few though that come pretty damn close, but there's everybody strikes out. Everybody strikes. I don't care who you are, man. And while I can understand, I mean, I said there was a lot of stuff going on with the band. There's a lot of inner turmoil. I know it really hurt on. It was one of those things where he partially wanted to leave. He wanted to do solo stuff, but he didn't really want to leave Black Sabbath because he was
even wearing that shirt.
He even made a shirt called Blizzard of Oz. So clearly, Ozzy, it was the best thing for both. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Ozzy became just as big a legend on his own as he was with Black Sabbath. There's no questioning that.
Even bigger. So even bigger.
Yeah. And it really, and again, Dio and Sabbath helped that's one of the shames to me. I kind of wish the Sabbath lineup with Dio would have lasted longer than it did.
They did 2 albums, right?
Yeah, and then they did the live album, and that's why they broke up, and then they got back together for Dehumanizer, which I love that record. And then eventually they got back together under the Heaven and Hell name.
I love Dehumanizer.
I do too.
Yeah, it's a great album.
And then they got back together in the, mid-aughts or whatever, and did Heaven and Hell, called the band Heaven and Hell with The Devil You Know, which I think is a great record.
Great record too.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what,
I wish Naomi would have produced 13.
Thank you, because he produced
how great that album.
Heaven and Hell, and it sounds great.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say it, man. I'm an Ozzy guy, even though I do love Ronnie, but Heaven and Hell's Devil You Know is better than Sabbath's 13. I'm sorry, it is.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
By far.
Yeah, I don't know that I've heard either.
Oh, you need to check them out, dude. Even 13, but my problem with 13 was it was like Rick Rubin wanted it to sound so much like Sabbath, but Sabbath circa 70s. There's even certain songs where you're like, okay, that's the Black Sabbath song.
That's
that's Planet Caravan.
That's
That's them trying to do The Wizard. You know what I mean? There's actually a song where, and I do like the song, but Ozzy plays the harp. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, so I'm going Psycho Circus, and then that modern Kiss album.
Well, I think Kiss tried to recreate Destroyer with Psycho Circus, but they tried to do it with different musicians. So fuck that record.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I love Sabbath, like I said, they're my all-time favorite metal band, but even I'm Not Blind, you could tell, man, they were really, and I think they were just exhausted, all of them, emotionally, physically, just exhausted, dude, and it shows, and it's kind of sad, but I think it was something that needed to happen. It needed to happen, man.
It's destiny.
And we got 4 amazing metal masterpieces out of it, man, because hey, folks, don't get it twisted. I love that stuff, too. I don't consider it Black Sabbath. I consider them their own band, especially once Vinny Appice became the drummer. But what was that?
Pan.
Oh, but other than that, man, yeah. And, maybe down the road we can talk about the Dio stuff. I would like to do that, man, because
I'd like to focus on just one album.
Oh, you want to do just an album, huh?
Yeah, man. It gets too much for me because I'm too anal retentive. I want to talk about everything and include everything and get all.
All right.
And when you do multiple albums, that gets to be quite a burden.
Well, we're not doing total reviews, though.
I know, but I'm anal retentive.
Okay, well, if you want to do a review,
I want to be like the temperature was 75 degrees.
You already did. You want to do that shitty
on the day of the recording.
You want to do that shitty Def Leppard record. So I guess we'll do that.
I'll do anything, but I only suggested that because, in all honesty, I couldn't tell you a single song off the album.
Okay.
So I would be going into it
I got
a blank slate. and I would just give my honest.
By all means, let's do the Hysteria. Let's do it, because I haven't listened to it in a long time.
Yeah.
But we can't call it an
I
uncovered.
had Pyro. That was the follow-up to Pyro, right?
We call it an uncovered gem for him, right?
Have you never heard it ever?
What's that?
He's never heard that whole album.
No, I don't. I didn't buy it. I didn't have.
Would you consider that an uncovered gem?
Yeah, if he hasn't heard the album, he's only heard what's been on the radio, then absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But you know what? The next uncovered gems we're doing is Nail Bombs, Point Blank. Would you like to be part of that review?
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right, then. We will have Scapegoat on here as a guest to do Uncovered Gems Nail Bomb.
Yeah, whenever we get to that. I know as we're recording this week, we have Jared Miller from the Plum Hollow Band to come on and talk about Barney's band, Plum Hollow Band, and the festival that he has that he started, and then his missus, Miss Debbie, continues the tradition twice a year. I've been seeing a lot of cool things online about this this show that's coming up this coming weekend. The final Black Sabbath thing. I see that Ozzy's doing 5 songs. I still can't figure out if that's by himself or with the band.
Right.
So that's still kind of up in the air. But we've been seeing a lot of cool pics. I mean, we saw the 4 guys out there by the Black Sabbath mural. Ozzy signing
it.
Yeah, I mean, that's really cool. Seeing some pictures of them just kind of hanging out around a dinner table. Ozzy looks bored out of his mind, which is hilarious. He just kind of like, that was a funny picture that came out. I'm excited. I don't know if I'll be able to see it. I'm hoping that they leave it up for sale for a little bit longer.
They're going to. From what I understand, they're going to do the live stream, and then after that, anybody who wants to see it afterwards can get it.
Yeah,
it won't be as much because I'm not going to be able to do it because I'm on call that weekend. So I'm hoping I can purchase it afterwards because I do want to see it.
It's going to be even hard to put up this video from this week because that's due to go up Friday. It'll be hard for me to even do that because I know that that Mindy's sister's internet is horrible. It's so slow. So I might not even be able to get this video up until Sunday night when we get home. And that just, frankly, depends on what time we get back here. I'm kind of anal about being back at a reasonable time. Mindy likes to get back at 11 o'clock or so. I will be pissy. I get up too early in the morning to be staying up that late.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed going through this. Those last 2 albums, I'm not going to lie, it was a shock to my system because I had never listened to them in their entirety.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever actually listened to all of Sabotage. I heard a couple songs and I really dug them. So that one wasn't quite as bad. I still think the wheels were starting to come off on that one towards the end of the second half of that record. But wow, those last 2, yeah, you're right. Thank God that Ozzy left or got fired, whichever way that went down. And he, did his solo thing. And then they brought in Ronnie James to do those 2 Sabbath albums because I really like those 2 Sabbath albums. I think it's ridiculous for anybody to say, well, I like the Dio era better. Well, how do you know if you only have 2 albums? 3 if you want to be technical. But you only had 2 albums to judge it, and then he's gone,
Right.
I don't think that's a fair assessment. You may like his voice better than Ozzy. I'll give you that. Ozzy has a very unique voice, very unique vocal stylings. Zakk Wylde has that same type of voice. That's why it works so well, him doing the Black Sabbath thing. But yeah, if you want to get the best Sabbath, go those first 4. You cannot go wrong on those first 4. No. But that next 4, there's some hits and misses. You definitely got more hits on the first 2 than the last 2. But I think had I been the Sabbath fan that you guys are, much like you guys got so angry with 1979's Dynasty, I would have been the same at Technical Ecstasy. I don't know that I don't know I would have ever even given Never Say Die a shot. That just awful. I don't know that I would have given the Ronnie James Dio era or anything after a shot. Just hearing
you had to have a friend play it for you and go, hey, check this out, and then maybe you'd have been like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, they'd have had to hold me at gunpoint.
Well, because I'm just telling you, that's how people discovered music was, word of mouth. We didn't have the internet then, so it was like
exactly.
But yeah, there was.
Too was because I saw the band in a circus magazine or a Metal Edge magazine or Kerrang. I just saw them and it would look cool. And then I would go home to my, list of records I had picked out on Columbia House. Like, okay, I saw these guys in Circus Magazine. Let me order that one, and write out my check and such.
Yeah.
But
Life was very much like that for me, my generation. I mean,
these days music is way too accessible.
I think so. It's almost,
people take it for granted.
I don't know how to feel about it. There's times where I sit and I'm like, am I jaded? What's the difference between 14, 15-year-old me and 58-year-old me? Is it that I'm jaded, or is it just that it's gotten too easy to access? Like,
I think it's a little bit
for all of us. Not
I'm jaded about things.
Well, I mean, when I was a kid, I would just be vibrating with excitement about hearing a new cut, a new album, new art, a tour. But
well, it was a different experience.
It's not like that for me now, man. It's just instantaneous. It's like, oh, there's such and such new whatever, and it's like, bam. And it's like, there's none of that, like, reading about it, hearing about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. It
is. It's different. It's a different time, bro.
Right. So it's weird for me. I'm like, did I use up all the, what do they call that you have triggered in your brain? Dope.
Endorphins?
Yeah, like whatever. And of course I did a lot of drugs, cocaine primarily, which really messes with your. So I think sometimes I'm like, well, did I just deplete that chemical that shoots it? Like, I don't get as excited as I should about it. But
see, for me, I think it's really hard to get excited about things when it's that easy to get. Every once in a while, something comes along that excites me. The new Alice Cooper group stuff, I'm really excited.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to seeing what.
Why is it only the legacy acts that know how to build that excitement? They know, look, I'm going to drop this single.
Right.
Promise that this is going to be released as part of a whole. A lot of these artists these days, they drop a single and there's nothing following it until they drop another single. And you could go to your little Spotify's and such and you listen to your single. You don't even get the benefit of hearing it on the radio for the first time. It's a weird time to be an old head, to be an old school music fan.
Right.
Nobody gets excited to go buy a new record or a new CD because, well, CD, what?
Exactly.
It's there was something magical about going to your local mom and pop record store. And I started seeing the writing on the wall when we got like a Coconuts that had moved in, was just this mass influx of CDs from everybody that was popular on pick your radio station, be it top 40, rock and roll, whatever.
Right.
Your mom and pop record stores, they had their finger on the pulse of the music fan. It wasn't everything that was just being shoved at you on, terrestrial radio.
Organic. Yeah, it was like.
So you go through there, you're just flipping through the albums, and 9 times out of 10, especially when you weren't familiar with a band, it was the album cover that grabbed you. That's what caused you to pick it up.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. And that's why these bands always had this amazing artwork on their album covers. And even the back jackets, man. Sometimes you'd have a pick of the band. Sometimes it would just, complete the album cover. Iron Maiden was real good for that.
Yeah.
So you'd have this experience. You start looking at track listings. You look at, who produced this? When's this drop?
Yeah, the liner notes. Yeah.
Well, yeah, lyrics. I love getting the lyrics.
You're just reading the album
lyrics
cover. Yeah. Then you pull the vinyl out, and a lot of times the lyrics were on there, so you could read through them. Yeah. We had a real cool record store called The Stage Door in Watertown, New York, where you could pull the record, put it on the turntable, put your headphones on, and listen to it ahead of time.
Yeah, I only think we had a place that did that for a short window of time. It wasn't very long, and they closed. But I know in the bigger cities and in TV, I would see even back in the 50s, like when my dad was a kid, that was common in a lot of music shops, is you could go in and actually get a booth and sit down and listen to the album. You know.
Yeah, it's too accessible. I was talking to my daughter about this, and we may have mentioned this on the last show. I don't know. But for her, even though she grew up on all this great stuff, she grew up on it. All it is for her is background noise. Mindy's nephew, he's 17. He's like, oh, your music sucks. And I'm like, you didn't even know music. So when you got to listen to an album, he's like, album? No, I go on Spotify. It's background noise. It's something to listen while you're...
It's disposable to the younger generation. It's just something that's there, unfortunately. I mean, I'm not saying every young person feels way. Or that, but yeah, there's a lot of people. And you know what? I got news for people. There's people our generation that feel the same way. They don't get why I'm as into music as I am. To them, it's just there.
Yeah,
they don't get it. And that's fine. Everybody's got their passion and their hobby.
The ones that freak me out the most are people I went to school with. Like you said, like casual listener or somebody that's, I guess music just doesn't mean to them what it does to me.
No.
Or to most those of us who really get off on it. You know, my taste continued to grow as the music scene changed, but I will run into people I went to school with, and they're dead locked into like
their era,
like, you know. And
I was that guy until the last year,
you know, and I'm like, wow, you know, like I love with everything, video games, whether it's music, I like evolution, you know. I like it I need to be. Yeah, I don't want stuck in this loop of, you know, regurgitated ideas, and I want to hear something. And I know that's gotten really hard, you know, trying to reinvent the wheel, you know, like, but I mean,
you can even do classic sounding, for me, glam metal, hard rock, whatever you want to call it, and do it well. I was telling Metal Mike about this band Gunshine. They're just a hard rock and roll band. But it's modern. It doesn't feel like, oh, I've heard this before. It's definitely fresh. So they're still reinventing the wheel. The problem is you've got to get out there and find it. You know, and
true.
Sometimes that's tough because
sometimes it is, but it's easier than it's ever been.
Oh, it's probably easier, but it's a matter of finding time. Me, as much as I love music, I like sitting right there where that dog is and watching television.
Right.
Movies, you know. So a lot of times to come here and discuss, you know, going through a bunch of records, you don't know what kind of torture that was just to get through. Even if it's a band I love, even the Megadeth albums, I was like, God, I could be playing some Call of Duty or tending to my windows or
I know, bro.
The news, like literally, other than being forced to sit here.
Yeah.
But give me one album.
I relate. Yeah.
No problem throwing that sucker on and listening to it because I can get something done in the house. Then it's over. I can put it back on the shelf onto other things. The retrospectives, while fun, the way I've been doing them,
it gets a little laborsome, man. It's like,
it's work. Especially when I had all week to do it and I did it today.
And especially when like the music,
what is that?
The music quality or the quality of musicianship goes down. Like with this, like I said, like the early albums with Sabbath, I kind of enjoyed. Were easy because I know them albums in my sleep, a lot of them, you know. I mean, I've grew up with them songs, but, you know, the later stuff I wasn't as familiar. A lot of that to me was just filler music or I skipped, you know.
Yeah.
So it got like the last couple of days here was a grind for me, man. I'm like, I must force myself to listen to this music that while it's not like horrible, it's just not doing it for me.
Oh, I disagree.
You know, yeah, I know. But, you know, I was like, yeah, because I'm with you. Like, I'm a video game guy. I was like, there was times where I'm like, I could be playing my game, you know?
Yeah, but literally anything. There's garbage I have to run to the dump. You know, I can be doing literally anything. I need to get my head right.
Sorry that this was such a chore for you. Jesus.
Well, it wasn't up
Good.
until the end. It got rough at the
My
end.
God. You know what? Those last 2 albums, that's payback.
I mean, that's
That's
fair.
payback.
I mean, I ain't gonna
I could have done nothing to you to deserve that tripe.
Yeah, you did. That Chinese democracy monstrosity.
I love
like Chinese monstrosity, okay?
I love my staff.
Right, bro. I love you, man, but yeah.
But yeah, even the last, especially Tech and
Yeah.
Never Say
Yeah,
Die.
yeah, it peters out. It peters out. But I mean, again,
Peter, it fell off a freaking cliff.
okay, fine. It fell off a fucking cliff, Bushy. You know, what do you want from me? You know, I mean,
You're
sorry,
right.
not everybody can wait 15 albums to put out a record that's just, well, whatever it is.
Well, maybe I'll hear.
Piece to some, a disaster piece to others.
Maybe I'll hear 13 and think, oh, they're back. Who knows?
I'll tell you what, it's better than Never Say Die and Technical Ecstasy.
Almost.
Even though Bill Ward's not on it, it is. It's heavy rock. I mean, it's Sabbath. It's not horrible. I think some people bash on 13. I mean, it's.
My gripe is the
I was disappointed in it, but I didn't hate it. If that makes sense.
What's that one song?
love
God's
Ruben,
Not
but
Dead.
come on.
Was that
God is dead. Is God dead? Or yeah.
something like that? I dug that. I was like, oh, that sounds like the Sabbath I like, which is the first 2 albums.
You would probably like 13. If you want, someday we can review that album.
No, we could do that down the line.
Down the line, not like tomorrow.
I need a break from
Yeah.
Sabbath.
I don't even want to do Hysteria anytime soon. I don't want to do Nail Powder or whatever it is anytime soon. Just put that off.
Nail Powder.
Nail bomb, dude.
Oh, okay.
It's fucking great. Nail powder.
Whatever, dude.
I powder my face with nails because I'm metal as
Right? It'll probably be disappointing. I mean, it should have been called Nail Powder.
nail powder.
But no, it was fun. It was definitely work. Admittedly, a lot of the work was my fault because I kept putting it off. It's like, I don't have to record Wednesday. I'll listen to it later. And then it got to Wednesday, and I was like, I don't have to record until Sunday. I put it off. And then Thursday, I'm like, you know what? I'll listen to this today. Then Metal Mike called me. Not his fault. We talked for an hour and a half. By the time I was off the phone, dude, it's time for me to go to bed. I'm old. So I
got responsibilities, man. And the older you get, the harder it is. And Mike knows,
and then Friday and Saturday, I had time. I attended services Saturday. I had plenty of time after that. I just didn't wanna.
Well, then quit crying about it, dude. I waited till the last minute. I'm so put out by these retrospectives. Come up with the next topic, bitch. Jesus.
Well, I've got the next topic that I got to record it today. This week sucks because tomorrow I'll edit this. It'll take a while for this to render down for me to send to Scape. Because great job with the work on last week's episode. By the way,
thank you.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
it'll get better as time goes on, and I got time to because some things I'll be able to make, and it'll be done and in the bag. And I just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But starting everything from scratch, intros, outro, advertising. I could even, things like that. It takes a little bit, but if you got any suggestions, and thing to remember, I'll talk to you when we get off.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, this Wednesday, because it's Sunday as we're recording this, so this episode audio will be up Tuesday night. Got to figure out how to get all the editing and stuff done because we record Wednesday with Jared Miller, again, the Plum Hollow Band. I've had a heck of a time with my system here. I've got to find a way to get somebody else to rip these CDs and Dropbox it to me. Maybe I can get Mindy to do it. But we got Jared Miller coming on, talk Plum Hollow Band and the Plum Hollow Festival and Moonshiners Reunion. That's what those two are called in May and October. I know we're getting Jeff Allen on soon. We're going to be working
from Cranium Radio, my partner at Cranium Radio.
Yeah.
And
talk some Cranium Radio stuff.
I wanted to plug that, man. I've got the Metal Mike show on Fridays, 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we got a bunch of different radio personalities and DJs doing all kinds of stuff, man. Come to the website, check it out. Come to the chat room. Because we got people that are all over the place. There is a lot of rock and metal there, but we got a gal who's doing a funk and a disco show. We got somebody that's doing literally a bluegrass and country show. DJ Spur. We got DJ Gemini doing was going to be doing 3 shows, but right now she's doing 2. She's doing the Mirror Ball, which is the disco, funk, and I think soul, music, and then she does like a new wave, like alternative punk rock show called Totally Tubular. That's on Tuesdays. And
Called what?
Totally Tubular for sure.
Like
And
Valley
we got
Girl?
and we got the Metal Mistress on Wednesdays. We got DJ Heartbreaker on Wednesdays. Jeff does a thrash show on Tuesday nights. He does 2 shows on Saturday. Saturday morning, the classic track Impact, and then Saturday Nights Alive, where he plays nothing but live shows. And then he does the Sunday morning service on Sunday mornings. Morning as in mourning for the dead. We've got Salvation Through Metal on Thursday mornings with
You gonna announce my new show?
And the Metallica with
Mike?
DJ JD. What?
You gonna announce my new show?
I didn't know you had a show, dude. Do you want a show?
Polka with Dave.
Dude, you know what? Anything go. I told a prospective DJ the other day on the phone. He asked me, well, I want to do this and that, but would it be okay if I throw in like some Bing Crosby and Dean Martin? I'm like, dude, it's Cranium Radio. You can do whatever you want. And by the way, those guys rule. I love me some Dean
Martin's awesome.
So, yeah, guys, once again, anybody is interested, hit me up, man. We're looking for talent from all over the place, not just America, South America, Europe, even Australia, man. We need some overnight DJs, which would be during the day or evening or afternoon for you guys. So hit me up, man.
Oh, it'd be cool to find some Russian DJs. They like some pretty heavy stuff over there.
Oh, yeah. I'm okay with that.
That would be badass.
Oh, that would be badass, man. So, yeah. Anyway, man, are we done here?
I think don't forget, check out our sponsor, Dubby. Like I said, I've had a couple of their products. I highly recommend it. The energy drinks, they do what they're supposed to do, but you don't get like me on like 3 pots of coffee. So that's a nice thing.
All right.
I drink about a half a pot before work. I pour the rest into my travel mug. When I'm finished with that, I've already had 6 or 8 bottles of water anyway in the morning because it's hot where I work. Afternoon, I do one of the refreshers, the hydrating drinks, got all the electrolytes and such. And I do one of the energy things because I do get tired. It's been great. Doesn't keep me up at night. I can still go to bed at my bedtime because Bushy's old and wants to be down by 9 o'clock at the latest. The Plug Podcast is the promo code. Use that, 10% off. Scape, thanks for coming.
Thank you. Had a good time, guys.
And the video cast is looking great. Next week, the episode you're going to see is going to have a completely different intro. It's almost the same, but it's different. I definitely prefer that. If you listen to last week's audio, you already know what that intro is going to be. But a lot of changes happening here at the Plug Podcast. A lot of changes happening in general. We can't wait to start releasing that information. I'm excited about where things are going.
Same here, brother. So, yeah, folks, thanks for listening. Keep fighting the good fight. Stay metal to your dying breath. And remember the Sabbath and keep it black.
I don't know if I like that.
Oh.
Or buy vinyl. We'll see you next time.
Peace.